Tyler and I are transitioning.
Switching sides.
Welcome to the Oak Shape Gear channel. Tyler Denham, Dan Staten. Today, Tyler and I are transitioning from archery early season to rifle late season. Yes, even myself, I'm picking up a rifle. I drew a tag in Colorado. I'll tell you all about it. I have a lot of questions for Tyler. He's got decades of being what I would consider miserable hunting conditions, cold. We're going to be changing out packs as far as like what to put in, what to take out, and just help you guys that are heading out west in November, December for these out west hunts, whatever the species, so that you have the right gear, because nothing can make a hunt more miserable than being unprepared.
True.
Let's go. Okay, Tyler, so let's just kind of dig in on some questions for you. Like regulation, you got to have X amount, usually like 400.
Most states require 400. Their regulations usually say 400
Cubic inches
of orange visible from...
What's layman's term? How much real estate are we talking?
At least a vest. So something like this, just a blaze orange vest. Depending on the state, it may have to be solid orange. There's
Colorado have to be solid. I do know that.
Potential that you could, some states you can use a camo orange vest. A lot of them, if you're using a camo pattern, you have to have a full jacket for the...
So read your regs.
Read the regs. Know what your state has. Some states require you to put a orange panel on your backpack if you're wearing a backpack. Throwing on an orange hat is always a good idea. Just gives you that extra little bit of real estate. Make sure you're legal.
All right, so let's paint a picture. You're headed on your trip. Like, we'll just use you for example. Okay, you're headed to Montana. You were there last year. You have a general elk deer combo.
Yep.
All right, so you can't hunt any of the special limited entry, but you got a ton of areas to choose from.
Yeah.
You've already narrowed it down.
Yep.
I remember last year you killed a really nice bull. Roll the footage. And your brother got, I think, a cow. Both of you got deer. Doesn't matter. I remember the average temperature that I saw in most of your videos was 0 degrees. And it wasn't that late in the year, right? So
early November, yeah.
Where you hunt, a lot of guys, you're not going to be able to bring a fifth wheel, a camper, based on roads.
Yeah. It's going to be difficult.
If you are, great. You got a heater, propane, cool, good for you. But for the rest of us, people on a budget who don't have, or we just haven't sacrificed hard enough yet to get that. I have a camper. I never bring it.
Yeah.
I just never bring it. I'd rather haul a machine.
Uh-huh.
But I guess my point is shelters. I want to start with like a hot shelter to boost morale and not freeze your beans off at night. So hot stove, hot shelter.
Yep, definitely. That's going to make your hunting experience more enjoyable. Obviously, the most luxurious hot tent would be a canvas wall tent with a nice wood stove in it that will hold a fire all night.
Yeah.
Kind of down from there would be like a Peaks teepee where you have a smaller wood stove, but it still will heat up enough, and you may have to wake up and still get once or twice at night, but it'll still keep you warm.
A hot shelter, for years I ran Seek Outside.
Yep.
Obviously then I started working with Peaks. I switched to the Peaks. All these shelter companies, they're good. It doesn't,
Yes.
Archery, I work with Peaks. I have a discount code with Peaks. Obviously I'm biased.
Yes.
But I will say they all lie to you. Oh, this is a 6-man. This is a 10-man. You always divide by 2. Man, I'm telling you, like, so know that.
Yes.
Going into your hunt, if this is your first year doing, and I would never not use a shelter with a stove. So that means a teepee.
Yeah.
You know, or a wall tent.
Right.
Which you have both. I have both. I do love a wall tent.
Yes.
It's longer to set up.
Does say it's
What are you taking? Just gonna put
all the above.
You're gonna take them all?
So for us, we're gonna set up a couple of wall tents where we can park our trucks. That allows us to have a nice, fun camp. Lots of camaraderie, telling stories after the day's hunt. And then I'm also going to bring the Peaks in case I decide to spike out somewhere overnight.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that system with their Torad stove. I found that works really well. It is a game changer if you're going to be backpacking, and you that time of year I won't go backpacking without a stove.
Make sure you bring a little saw, a little hand saw, or a little hatchet, because the stove's not giant real estate, and you're gonna want to like create some firewood cache, especially in the middle of the night. And without one of those, you really got to like break sticks down and stuff. So
it definitely is a nice, obviously not a must, but a really nice option to have. And generally in the late season, I'm hunting with a partner, and so we can divide up, and it's not that much extra weight in your pack when you divide the shelter, the stove, a saw, or a hatchet of some sort, just to make your camp more comfortable. Because I remember watching a Robbie Denny video a long time ago, and he was like, if you're merely surviving in the backcountry, you're not hunting your best.
Well said,
and
Robbie.
So I've taken that to heart and pack a little extra weight so I can thrive in the backcountry and hunt my best when I'm out there hunting.
All right, so everything we're going to talk about, we're going to put a category in one side of the screen: should or must. So hot shelter, should or must?
I would say it's a must.
Okay, let's move on to, I guess we'll talk weapon systems real quick.
Okay.
This is what I'm going to take with. This is a 6.5 PRC from Mountain Forge. We've both gotten lessons from Mr. Allwine, which have come in really handy, bolstered my confidence. I know you've shot rocks, I've shot rocks. I just shot this right here the other morning, and dry firing and all that stuff. So are you going to run a bipod? If so, like obviously I got that's the Tracer RP.
Tracer RP. I have the Warren one on.
Okay.
I like it. It's a little bit more compact than the Tracer, but you don't get as much elevation out of it. I'm also going to run a tripod that I can attach to the Arca Swiss plate here.
Yeah, what about this guy? This is also from Tracer.
So
this
that one,
HK?
if you don't, this head is for if you don't have this plate.
Okay.
If you have this plate, you get rid of this guy and you just attach it right there. You don't need this extra piece.
So you will pack around a tripod, multi-purpose?
Yeah. So when I'm rifle hunting, I'm going to pack 2 tripods, one for my gun, one for glassing off of.
You don't have one that can do both?
I could do both, but when you're looking at, like, this is a specific shooting tripod.
Right.
It's going to work better for shooting off of. I've got a specific shooting tripod, and then I've got a specific...
Do you count ounces? Do you cut your toothbrush in half?
Negative.
How much do you weigh?
I weigh 225.
And you can deadlift almost 500 pounds and back squat like, you don't care about weight.
I don't care about weight. So I'm gonna take what's going to give me the best opportunity to make a solid ethical shot.
I don't think I'm bringing this then, since I have the plate.
Yeah, you definitely don't.
I'm gonna
need
carry
that.
one tripod. Not that I count ounces, but I'll have one. And I would rather shoot prone. I'm not a great rifle. Like, I don't have a ton of rifle hunting experience, but I would rather shoot prone.
I think we all would.
Okay.
But there's a lot of times, like I shot my deer last year 400 and some yards off of a tripod because I couldn't get prone because of.
Were you on your butt?
Yeah, I was sitting down.
Okay. I shot a bull elk last year after I shot him with a bow first. With, I think it was a 300. Maybe it was a 338. Honestly, it was big. And I shot it off a tripod, sitting on my butt.
Yeah.
And it was just in that 300 range.
Yeah.
So I get it, but I just, almost all my training's been prone.
Right.
Very rarely do I've tried everything, but okay, that makes sense. Let's move on. So weapon system. Oh, last on ammo. I've heard horror stories. Again, this is a knuckle dragger bow hunter. But dudes bringing like match ammo or something, and like putting little pinholes in their animals. They didn't.
Yep. Some of the match.
Touch on that.
Some of the match bullets don't expand like hunting bullets do.
Okay.
Some of them do, so it's not just a blanket. All match ammo is out. It's you got to look at the bullet specifically and whether or not it's going to expand on impact. You need that expansion because it creates a bigger wound channel, and it's basically it punches in, expands out, and so now your wound cavitation inside that animal is much bigger because you're pushing a bigger object through. Like it's a wider, it's like an expandable broadhead. It punches in, gets bigger.
Now you're talking about
and
like
now
okay.
It cuts a much bigger hole through the animal versus just little pinholes like a field point would do. If you shot an animal with a field point, it doesn't do anything. And I've had that issue with certain other bullets. Some of them expand faster than others. Depending on where you like to shoot the animal will dictate which one you want to go with. So if you like to shoot them in the shoulder, so you need a deeper penetrating, you want a slower expanding bullet. If you tend to shoot right behind the shoulder, you want a faster expanding bullet.
Okay.
So it expands faster because it has less tissue to get through before it starts pushing through the vital organ.
All right, well, I think we've covered rifle a little bit. We are going to make some like short form media on like I need to get this set up, a rifle sling from Initial Scent. We'll do that in some short videos. Today's just kind of the overwhelming like must should. So for all the stuff we just talked about, shooting off a tripod, is it a must or a should?
That one's a should and depends on your comfort level.
I know guys have been throwing guns on top of backpacks for years, or multiple backpacks.
I haven't run a bipod up until the last few years.
There you go. It's a should. Let's talk about optics and glassing, especially out west, like where you're going. It's very open, and you'll need to be at a master vantage looking over literally 5 to 6 miles. So you can't probably get away with something. I mean, if you want to save weight, but like this is good and you'll see stuff, but this is better and you'll see more stuff, right? So I guess optics wise, what is the must? What is the should?
Obviously the must is a pair of binoculars.
What do you got?
I've got, because we're using these rifles and we're able to shoot out to longer distances, I've got the Vortex.
Those are the Furies?
Furies with the applied ballistics inside. I've already downloaded my data for my rifle into these. So I range the animal I'm going to shoot, and it gives me all of the dope inside the reticle here.
So it goes range, and then it flashes for a second, and then then it gives you your dope.
It gives me my dope, where to dial my scope, and then what windage I need to adjust for. I've got it set for 0 wind. When you get out to longer ranges, just the spinning of your bullet is going to move it. Depending on if it's right or left, it's going to move it one direction or the other.
Will you bring a Kestrel?
Maybe.
Okay, so a Kestrel is a should, not a must?
Yeah. Also, that's like a lot of times when you're getting the shots on animals, the wind is pretty low because it's early in the morning, late in the evening, the wind hasn't picked up. I'm not the best at judging windage yet.
I'll tell you who's pretty good is Matt Allwine.
He's dang good, but I'm not Matt Allwine.
No.
And so if it's windy, my range gets shorter, my effective range.
Yeah.
So if it's not so windy, then I'll bump it up. But like the wind can change whether it's coming up a slope, down slope, through a canyon. It's a art in itself. So if you're not really good at judging the wind, get closer or wait for the wind to die down.
Okay, so last question on this topic, wind, straight up. So as a bow hunter, I kind of have a line in the sand as far as how far I'll shoot at an elk with a bow. All right. And the furthest I've ever killed an elk, I think, was like maybe 70 yards, 69. And it was kind of quartering away. You know, it was like a really perfect shot. The last 6 bulls I've shot with a bow have all been between 45 and 51 yards.
Okay.
All right. I kind of just feel like with elk, I don't really need to shoot at them if they're standing there at 100 yards. I just feel like, okay, I'm not close enough yet.
Right.
There are guys that can do that, and ethically that's good for them. That to me, it's a personal journey. So long-winded. Do you have a line in the sand as far as how far you'll shoot? I kind of have a number for myself on my mule deer hunt, and I have that bow hunting mindset. So no offense, rifle hunters, but like a lot of times when you lay down to shoot your animal at 400 or 500 yards, that's when my bow hunt has just started. I'm like, oh, there he is. Now how am I going to get closer? So my mindset, I kind of want to stay under 500. Really 400 is like my number of like, I think I can get to 400 yards or closer. Do you have a number?
Kind of. So it definitely changes based on the conditions, like the wind and stuff that I just talked about, and whether or not like I can get closer, because like you said, out where we're hunting is very open. I was 600 yards from some bedded elk last year, and I didn't feel like that was close enough.
I've seen you shoot your gun over 1,000 yards.
Yes.
So I respect that.
So again, it depends on the situation. Other situations, I would probably take that shot, but because of wind and everything else, I wasn't comfortable. I also passed on a deer shot at 600 yards because of the wind. Even though like I know I can hit things at that distance, when I close the gap a little bit, I'm that much more confident in the shot, and I hate wounding animals, and I also hate trying to track them down. So
yeah, I think bench shooting and range shooting is just like with archery. Like
Yeah.
I'm a hero out here.
yeah,
But when you're in the field and you have a backpack on and your heart rate and you are excited
Yeah.
and maybe there's more pressure and now this a real animal, like maybe even like kind of cautious.
question: have you ever drawn back on an animal and we're like, yeah, it's not gonna work? And
Probably 5 times in September of 2025. I pulled back 5 times in September and didn't release one arrow because of the
Something.
angle, like something.
Right.
And I can't and I'm being honest, old Dan, like this is old Dan talking. I've done that and sent prayers and
it never works out very well.
it's not good. And so like as I get older, I'm really getting pickier on not only like shot placement, but shot selection first.
Right.
So, and yeah, that's a good
So
question.
same thing with rifle. Like maybe it is within what you think is effective, but you get down and get behind the gun and
Something's off.
Something's off. Whether it's the animal's weary, whatever, something's just off. You don't feel comfortable. Wait till the next day. Your chance will come.
Awesome. All right, well, let's talk about just water. Some water sources are going to be frozen. You need to filter
So-
water, cook water. What are you doing for water?
The biggest thing with water when it gets cold is these hollow filament filters. Anything that's like gravity fed, something like this, where you can see all these hollow filaments in there. That, if that freezes, you're not gonna know, and you're no longer drinking filtered water. You're just drinking straight out of the creek. So my go-to for late season is a SteriPen.
Okay.
I get as clean of water as possible, and then I get the SteriPen. This one will tell me like if its unit is too cold,
Oh, wow.
and you've got to like
That's an Amazon special?
warm it up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got it off Amazon. This is the Ultra. It's a rechargeable one.
Nice.
But it will tell me like whether or not the light comes on, whether it's too cold, and I have used this to drink some really nasty water and I didn't get sick. But
Yay.
that is one thing you just want to make sure. There are some filters that you can use. The other one that Drifter Hydration sends out is their disruptor filter. So it's like a carbon filter. And so it actually collects the particles in the filter,
Okay.
and it doesn't like push them through a element or something like that. So that one would be okay, but you still have to worry about if the water stays in there and it freezes, it could break that filter system. You can just throw those into your sleeping bag at night and like kind of keep them. You just got to be very diligent about keeping them from freezing. Like I said, what I do is I just go with the SteriPen. I also switch out my hydration. If I have a hydration system with a hose, I don't care what you do, it's gonna freeze. I'm gonna go to either a collapsible water bottle or a big water bottle of some sort. I prefer collapsible because once I drink the water, it saves room in my pack.
That makes sense.
Either one of these will work and they're not gonna freeze up. If you start having problems with your lid freezing, you just put it in upside down and it'll help your lid not freeze.
So water is obviously a must, but
Definitely.
of that, would you say a SteriPen is a must in cold weather?
If you're going to be filtering your water, yes. If you're like, I'm only going to hunt from a base camp,
Yeah.
from my truck, and I have good water there, and I'm just gonna fill up what I need for the day each day and not worry about it, then no. But if you're at all gonna filter water out in the backcountry, I would say you need a SteriPen.
Along the lines of what you quoted Robbie Denning saying that if you're like if you're not thriving and you're just barely surviving, you're probably not it's not a great hunt for you.
Right.
Let's talk about some bougie things that like maybe guys don't think about. Like I see here you have like a rifle scope, or is this a glassing pad?
That is the scope cover.
Okay,
from
scope cover,
Peaks.
glassing pads, beanies, gloves, mittens. Like let's talk about being comfortable so that you can hunt harder.
So I like to cover my optics because a lot of times, because we are in open country, I'm carrying my rifle on my backpack. So I want something to protect the valuables on the gun,
Okay.
the scope, the action, and preferably my muzzle. So this has all of that. You can hook it on and then strap this to your back. The other option I have is a scabbard from Eberly Stock. This guy, this is what I've been using for a long time. The nice thing about this is I can also use this as a butt pad, or not a butt pad, but a...
Glassing pad?
You could use it as a glassing pad, but I'm talking about a pad underneath the butt of your rifle. So if you got this up on your bipod, you can set that in, and like you can adjust how much you need. It's kind of a multi-faceted. You could also use that. That one's not as good for that, but that is an option.
You're not gonna pack a giant sandbag around?
No, I'm not gonna pack a giant sandbag. I do have a very small one. I ended up packing it for like 2 days last year and then tossed it because it was
audit.
Yeah, it didn't make the cut. The other thing, like when you're out there and it's cold, you're glassing a lot. I like to wear glassing mitts or some sort of mitten. These ones are from OR. I think OR makes some of the best gloves in the industry. These ones I usually they come with a liner glove. So you have a nice thin liner gloves where if I need to, I can pull the mitten off and I still have a nice liner glove that I can shoot with. I can do anything else and then stick my hand back in there, because when you're sitting up there glassing off a tripod, the first thing that gets cold is my hands. And so
Yeah, that makes sense.
this helps me stay on the glass longer and not wanting to stick my hands in my pockets or whatever to try and keep them warm. So I would say if you're going to do any glassing at all from a tripod or sitting even on your hands and knees, I would say glassing mitts are a must unless your hands never get cold.
That's not, yeah. Beanie makes sense to me. I always sleep with a beanie on to keep the heat in. We never did find out, like, are you packing one or the other on the angled spotters?
Yeah,
Or, like,
it's one or the other. Obviously, like, I do the majority of my glassing off of binoculars, and then I'll switch to the spotter when I want to reach out there a little farther. It's basically, obviously this one is going to be better, right? But it weighs a lot more.
Yeah.
So it's up to you whether in your
it.
situation this is going to be worth it, or if this will work for you. I've done both, and it just kind of depends on, like, oh, I've got a serious hike today that I'm going to do. Maybe I'll bump down to this one and sacrifice that for the weight. It's just kind of up to you.
What do you have on here for digiscoping? Did you ever drop your digiscoping review?
Yep. It's live.
How did that go? Did people watch it?
Yeah.
And okay, so what are you running? What is that?
Well, this one is the Epic Outdoors.
Okay.
But I also have the capture system here.
Ooh,
and
hybrid.
This is, right now, it's just my lens cover.
Okay.
I really like the capture system, and that's the system that I run on my phone. I literally have that phone case on my phone all the time, and that's my favorite system.
When you're publishing this video, which I think, yeah, somewhere over in this corner, link that video up in the upper corner if you guys want to, like, ADHD and peace out on this video and watch that one and come back. There's the video. I haven't watched it yet. I actually was gone when you published it, so yeah. I'll be excited to check out. All right, Tyler, this video is getting long, and I know you wanted to cover boots and layering systems in the next video that you're going to drop this week, so like kind of like a double video. So for this video, let's finish with stoves, because you got to heat stuff, and I know you've tried a lot of different brands. I've been a Jetboil guy kind of through and through, but I'm here to tell you, Jetboil, can you make one that the igniter doesn't break? Because I have 3 and all of them, and I now have to use a lighter to start it.
Yep.
And that's no shade. It's just me being honest. Like, that's a downfall of your system. I know you can send them back in, or there's ways to repair them. I ain't got time for that. So what are you running?
I am partial to the MSR.
Okay.
These two that I have here do not have an igniter on them. I do have one that does, but these ones don't. I just carry the lighter, just kind of like you do now anyway.
Yeah.
This one is the MSR wind burner.
Yeah.
It's super efficient in the fact that it doesn't use as much fuel as this one does.
Okay,
this
what's
is the
this
pocket rocket.
Oh, yeah.
This is the standard pocket rocket. The nice thing about this one is it's much smaller footprint, so less space in your pack, but it does use a little bit more fuel. The other thing you can use this one for a lot easier is to use your stove to start a fire if you want to do that.
Damn, that's a good
Not
idea.
recommended
I like that
per
idea.
se, but
I recommend it.
I do it all the time. This one is a little harder to do that with, but it does use less fuel. I generally use this one to make coffee in the morning
Yeah.
at my base camp, and then I carry this one in my pack. And then again, when it's cold and nasty out on the mountain, it's a real morale booster to cook up a hot cup of coffee while you're out there, sip on that while you're glassing or waiting for the animals to appear. That just makes my day.
Yep.
So that's why I carry this. Maybe not a must, but I think it is. So that's what I do.
All right, friends, on the next video, which will be published in 2 days from now, Tyler's going to break down his layering system, which I'm interested in because I run pretty cold. And I know that, again, back to the theme of what do you absolutely have to bring versus maybe what you should. We're going to go through that. And then I want to finish with boots. We've talked about boots, but there's different style of boots. And I think a couple of them are going to surprise you that he brings with him on his November, December rifle hunts. Separations in the preparation. Thanks for coming along. This is Tyler. I'm Dan. We'll catch you on the next one.